evening, everybody. Good evening, y'all. It's book club day, y'all. It's time for book club. I didn't dislike the book. Felt like Nin was an anime character style MC. Not gonna lie, fun nonetheless. Did you read the book? Did you actually read the book? Did you read the book? I wasn't expecting. I wasn't expecting another like single soul to have read this book. So I'm excited. Okay. Oh god. Oh god, the music is playing. The music is playing. I have to do it now. I have to do it now. You have to believe. You're indeed my the You are indeed my precious little ninja champ, and you have to believe in yourself. Believe so that way you can achieve. You don't even know the things that you can accomplish, that you will accomplish, because you are my little ninja Pock champ. You don't even know. This thing goes on for like a full minute. Thank God, okay. Oh my God. It amazes me how Nin goes from mama, a normal person, to loving Leto in what feels like a very fast span of time, which, by the way, I have that problem, that despite the description of Leto, I could only think of Silver Knight, Leto from Dark Souls 3. You know what? That's fair. I also have, like, opinions about, like, the, what is it called? Freaking like speed, like the speed at which they fall for each other. I take issue with just a tiny bit. I can't wait to edit this into an organized review of the book. Oh, that would be amazing. Oh, you're gonna have to edit out so much. I tell you. We're ready to actually start talking about this book that I'm surprised anybody read. I'm like legitimately shocked that anybody read it at all. It's summary time. For those who don't know the book, and did not have the immense joy and pleasure of reading it, let me summarize this book for you. Thus, at the very least, you'll know what we're talking about. So the main character is a lady called Audrey, but her real name is like Nin. Sorry, not Nirnroot. This isn't Oblivion. Nin. And essentially, so Nin gets kidnapped from her life. Oh, right. No, most importantly, Audrey/Nin is a dragon king. She's part of like a whole like collective group of people who are called the Dragon Kings. And they're all like sort of like supernatural creatures who have like mystical powers or whatever. And like they all come from like their each individual clans, and each clan, has their own super cool magical power thing that they can do. And like her clan, it's like lightning. Like her clan allegedly, has a lot to do with the myth of Zeus, because they can basically strike people down with lightning from the heavens. And her love interest, Leto, is super fast. He's fast like Sonic. He just like zips around everywhere, and like he has fast reflexes, fast everything. Super duper cool, whatever. And then there are other people who also have other powers, but their powers aren't important to the summary, to be quite honest. What's her real name again? Narn. Can you repeat that? I think it's pronounced Nin. I think so. It's Nynn. I think that's Nin. He's fast, huh? Fast like lightning. Yeah. totally. I mean, yeah, that's not inaccurate. By the way, the syndicate feels kind of stupid. If I remember correctly, don't they use the Dragon Kings for leverage, which kind of feels pointless. How are they using it as leverage correctly? They put two kings in a fight. They clearly don't want to be there. So how come it creates trouble? How did you have a king make you want to reveal my secret society? I didn't think I understood properly the whole syndicate dragons thing. Like, reading this, I was confused. Like, looking at the cover, it says book 1. It says Dragon Kings book 1. But the entire time that I was reading it, I felt like I was reading a book 2 or 3. I was like very confused about the mechanics of like the Dragon King world and like what the fuck like the syndicate thing had to, like, why were they using them as leverage? Like, everything felt like a front for the evil scientist. For me, that's the way that I interpreted it. Because like, what power did the syndicate have, really? No actual power. Like, they were just gambling. Like, at the end of the day, it just felt like it was an outrageous thing to gamble on. But I'll get to that. Maybe there's a prequel. I kind of wonder if there's a prequel somewhere. I haven't looked. I want to buy the sequel because I read, like, at the back of my book, there's like a little thingy for the next book, and I was like, oh, okay, the next book looks interesting. I'm intrigued. I want to go get it. But yeah, I should probably go looking to see if there's a prequel because parts of this really don't make any fucking sense. There's a dragon universe for what I have been investigating because it feels so hollow. It feels like I need a plot device, kind of. Yeah, I don't know, made no sense, the Dragon King bullshit. I forgot at points that they were Dragon Kings, even though that's like a very deeply important part of the story. Whatever, I need to focus on the summary. I need to focus on the summary. I want to talk about this book, goddammit. I genuinely really want to talk about this book. Okay, I'm locking in. So this book, right? So the protagonist is a Dragon King who comes from, like, I want to say her clan is, what was it? Tigony or something like that. I'm pronouncing it wrong. It's like Tigony. And she comes from the clan that can like shoot lightning, but she doesn't. But she thinks at the start of the story, she thinks that she can't use lightning powers. She thinks that she just wasn't born with any sort of gift from her clan. She can't use lightning at all, or so she believes. She is like basically ousted from her Dragon King clan because she thinks she's ousted because she has no powers. Later on in the story, we learn that like she was actually ousted from her clan because when she does have magical lightning powers, and when they manifest, like, she kills her mom. Because it's sort of like the gift has like a very rapid onset. Like, one moment you're fine, the next moment you're exploding with lightning, bam, and then, you know, her mom is dead. And so, you know, they have other people from other clans. There's like one specific clan that can like basically go into other people's minds and like block off memories, make them forget things. And so they bring in another person from another clan who blocks off her memory so she doesn't remember that she killed her mom with her crazy lightning powers. You know, and they tell her that she's going to be shipped off to the United States away from the Dragon Kings to live a normal human life because, quote unquote, she doesn't have any powers, or so they made her believe. And so she goes to the United States. She like goes and like she just lives a normal human life because she's like, well, I'm a Dragon King, I have no powers, I might as well live amongst the humans. And she lives amongst the humans and goes to art school and becomes an art teacher and like marries a human named Caleb, Rip Caleb, rest in pepperoni. And you know and you know, they have a kid. I forget, I think the kid's name is Jacob. They have a kid. Life is good, life is grand. She gets kidnapped. Okay, she gets kidnapped by evil Dragon Kings and they kill her husband and they kidnap her and her kid. And they like spirit her away to like an evil scientist's lab where she is experimented on for like a year or something. Like, it's insane. Like, they experiment on her for like a ridiculously long time, because the Dragon Kings can't have children. Like, for whatever reason, the Dragon Kings are like sterile. And like nobody understands why, and it becomes really, really obvious why they're sterile later in the book. It's like, yeah, man, y'all are like whatever. But anyway, is this medieval or is it modern? What's the era for this story? It's a modern story. It's a modern story. They have cell phones, and it's like completely like modern day story. And which makes like the cage fighting even crazier, because it's very like gladiator-esque. It is incredibly gladiator-esque. Like, they're just going in there with maces and swords, like, in the fucking fighting ring. But yeah, so she is experimented on because she had a kid, and she's a Dragon King. And it's like, how did a Dragon King have a child? You know, mind you, all of the Dragon Kings, they want to, like... all of the Dragon Kings believe that like they need to stay within their clan for like marriages and whatnot, and so it's just Dragon Kings in the same clan marrying Dragon Kings from the same clan, and then they're not having kids. And I think we can all already put two and two together why they might be quote unquote sterile, you know, when they're only like dating Dragon Kings within the same clan. But whatever. Which makes no sense to me. Why would you help the guy that tortured you and imprisons you and work against your own people? It makes zero sense to me. Oh my god, let me continue with the summary. So, because I think the summary will help that make a little bit more sense, or at least I think that it will. So like, she gets kidnapped and is experimented on by this evil scientist. I think it's like Dr. Astor is his name or something like that, and like, he's a hack. We'll get to that later. He, you know, because she's being experimented on for like a whole year, she manifests her powers for a second time, and she manages to blow up part of the lab, and like, she's able to like basically sneak a message out of the laboratory where she has been kidnapped to like her Dragon King clan, to like go and get help. That doesn't come in play until the very end of the story. So because like, she has powers, and Dr. Astor and like his whole syndicate, group, mob, I don't know, his whole gang of people are like they're kind of just like thugs, honestly. They kidnap / entice Dragon Kings to fight for them in an underground gladiatorial fighting pit for gambling for rich people, like rich humans. Like, rich humans will go to the Dragon King gladiator pits and watch supernatural creatures like fight each other for sport. And then I don't know, and then they gamble and make money. I'm kind of at a loss. A lot of the Dragon Kings that are fighting the pits are like outcasts from Dragon King society. They're criminals, they're scum. A lot of them, at least like Leto, the love interest, his family basically offered him up in exchange for like Dr. Astor making sure that like his family could have kids. Like, in exchange, they were like, here is our son. He will fight in your underground Dragon King fighting pit. And in exchange, the rest of our family, you will help them conceive children, essentially. Like, give them, like, fertility treatments. And, like, it technically works. Like, Dr. Astor follows through and gives Leto's, you know, family, like, sister fertility treatments. And then she's able to have kids. Like, it's kind of crazy, it's kind of wild, whatever. Everybody who's fighting the pits, like, they're either there because like the rest of society has shunned them and they want nothing to do with them, or they're trapped, or like they've bargained with Dr. Astor in some way, shape, or form, like in exchange for something, right? So, you know, Audrey / Nin, her powers have manifested completely, and again for a second time, and the doctor is like, yes, good, another Dragon King for the Dragon King fighting pit, and he proceeds to throw her like into like, I don't know, the compounds where he keeps all of the Dragon King fighters. And that's where Leto comes in. He is the love interest, and Leto is in charge of training Nin to like be fighting fit for the Dragon King fighting pits. And she hates him, and I'm here for it. She was like, I hate Leto, he's brainwashed. You know, he thinks that he's down here fighting for glory, fighting for his family, so that way they can have kids, blah, 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 blah. And she's like, fighting fit for the fighting pit, yes. Yes, indeed. I can't. Oh my god, Stockholm Syndrome the book for real. Like, real talk, yeah. Like, real talk, a little tiny bit, yes. I understand the gambling addiction base, but still feel stupid. Gambling, yeah, woo, gambling! Option 2, all of the evil Dragon Kings are super powerful. Rich humans are not. Just kidnap and kill the rich humans now. If they band together, they can just be super strong evil gang in the Badlands. Yeah, I'm confused about it. I don't know why the Dragon Kings haven't gone like, you know how like the vampires and Vampire Masquerade, they're like in the shadows, right? Like they let the humans have their fun, but they rule. Like they know that they rule. I don't know why the Dragon Kings don't do something similar where they like assert their power and they're like, no, I'm a supernatural being. I'm not gonna let rich humans bully me around. I don't know why they don't do that. I'm confused. I kind of dislike it when characters are given this kind of backstory to put them in a shady area, like underground fighting rings and gangs and stuff. It really takes away from the character and removes the ability to accurately have a discussion about the way victimization, criminalization, and society interact. At least when it comes to this particular book, I kind of disagree a little bit. I think that the book brings up interesting topics of discussion in like a really weird way. I love romance books so much. Romance books are like, romance is such a freaky little genre. I don't know. I think that there's still something to be had. Even if I will say that the backstory is kind of goofy. Like, the backstory for all of this shit is super fucking goofy. It's goofy as fuck. I think that the Dragon Kings are goofy as fuck. But I think that there's still interesting things in here. Which kind of, again, makes no sense. You have a weird mutation that can have kids and you throw it into a fighting pit where she can die. Isn't this about profit? Just sell her. My cat is waiting for me in bed to come back. Aww, adorable, precious. Yeah, no, you would think that, like, that's the way that the story would go. It's kind of crazy that, like, this is why I think that the doctor is a hack. Because, you know, like, Nin mentions that, like, Dr. Astor took one of her ovaries, I assume for experimentation. And it's like, anybody can put two and two together that, like, her husband, rest in pepperoni Caleb, he was a human. I feel like he was a human. Nin's parents were both from, like, different clans. And so technically I think like she has like two different sets of powers or something. And like later in the book at the end, which I thought was a load of bullshit, Leto realizes that his parents also came from like two different clans. And like there's a pattern here clearly, you know, there's a clear pattern. It doesn't take a literal scientist to figure this out. He doesn't need to be stealing women's ovaries to figure out this grand mystery. Like, Dr. Astor's such a fucking hack. Must Taffy agrees. Time to change my opinion. No! Stand firm in your opinion. It'll give us things to talk about later whenever I'm finished with this gosh darn summary. I thought at the start of the story he was about to sell the fuck out of her and was going to be a bit different. And then she just goes to a fighting pit and I'm like, you don't understand. He's a freak. He wants ovaries for his ovary collection. Like, it felt like he just had a weird ovary collection. Like, he literally just felt like a freak. Like, the doctor literally, he is a freak. He has a pet. We'll get to it. We'll get to it. He's a weirdo. Okay, I don't, like, obviously we're not meant to like Dr. Astor, right? Like, he's a freak on purpose, right? But like, he's weird. He's weird. I don't like him. We're not meant to like him. I do not like him. Anyway, they get 2 kids when different clans do things. Yeah, I mean, obviously, like, or when 2 different species do. Oh no, I'm afraid. I was once threatened to be melted into ink. Used to write a shoujo where the clear lesbians were suddenly married to a man and stood firm. However, they never threatened me. What happens to secret? No! Stand firm! Stand firm! Listen, we're gonna have cool, sick things to talk about, I swear. I wonder what the pattern is here. Freaks are okay, as long as they get consent for the freaky. As long as they get consent for the freaky. You know, if he wants to have an ovary collection, that's fine. Find a consenting people with ovaries to hand over their ovaries. This could be consensual. Is it consensual? No, because he's deranged. Okay, I'm sure that there are plenty of people who are also freaky. I would be like, oh doctor, I'll give you my ovaries. I'm sure those people exist out there somewhere. He doesn't need to do all this. He does not need to be doing all that he is doing in this book. Anyway, so she goes to fight. So Nin goes to fight in the fighting pits. Leto refuses to like call her by her human name, quote unquote Aubrey. Like, they have a whole like discussion about what is it called? Freaking, what's her Dragon King name? What's an ovary? Is it Candy? It's like an Avery, but for I think that Trippy has the best definition of an ovary. I think that should be the official definition of an ovary. What is it called? Freaking, we should engage the ovals. Let them roam free, for real. Let the ovaries run free. Taffy, you're literally the meme of very normal that I sent you about Mr. Doctor. He's deranged. He's the doctor. The evil doctor is deranged. I know that he's supposed to be deranged. He's evil. Okay, no, I'm gonna tell you all about the pet now because I can't wait. Okay, he is a quote-unquote pet. All right, and when I first read this, I was like, this is a lot even for... for a romance book. I was like, wow, they're breaking out all the shit. They're breaking out every single thing in this book. Yeah, a quote-unquote pet. She's just a lady. Like, it's just a lady. A dragon king? Nobody knows. She's a dragon king, but nobody knows if she wants to be near Dr. Astor, like, of her own free will, or if she's been brainwashed to want to be near Dr. Astor. It's very, like, up in the air. Like, we don't know. The book ends and we still don't know. I'm pretty sure that, like, the pet, also she doesn't have a name. She just called the pet the entirety of the book. This doctor is weird. And so this doctor's up to some freaky ass shit. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that the pet escapes Dr. Astor at the end of the book. And, like, she's described as wearing latex all of the time. When I tell you that this doctor is freaky, so, like, what is it called? I'm locking in, I'm focusing. So, Min is with Leto, and so she's the Gim from Pulp Fiction. Kind of like a little bit. Also, I've never seen Pulp Fiction. I'm sorry. This whole thing is brainwashing and torture. What do you think, Taffy? Come on. Yeah, I should have known. Those are his 2 favorite things. Brainwashing and torture are literally his 2 favorite things. I don't know. I'm not gonna tell you about an ex-girlfriend of mine based on this reaction. gripe is with the Doctor. It's not with the existence of, like, whatever is out there, you know? It's not with the existence of whatever. I don't care, you know? Just this Doctor is crazy. So so basically the Doctor, somebody in charge of the pet, the fighting pet, like, reading Freakfest the novel, but not watching Pulp Fiction. I like reading freaky novels, though. It's like my favorite pastime is reading freaky ass novels. I love it so much. Watching movies, however, is sort of a crapshoot. I'll put Pulp Fiction on the movie night list. I'll put it on the movie night list, on the humongous movie night list that I really, really need to, like, get through. We need to get through that list. So whoever is in charge of the fighting pets tells Leto that, like, him and Nin are going to be fighting together, and that they're now, like, a pair. Like, they're partners, and they have to, like, learn to fight together. It's an uphill battle because Nin hates Leto. She thinks that he's brainwashed, he's an idiot, he's dumb, all he does is train, you know, all this, that, the other thing. The Dr. Astor promises Nin that, like, if she fights in the cages for a year, she will have her son Jacob back. And so that's all that she cares about. She tries to escape, you know, the underground fighting pit society thing. It doesn't work out for her. She's, like, blocked when it comes to using her powers. I already put Pulp Fiction there. Okay, excellent. Thank you. Okay, that's perfect. Thank you. What is it called? She is blocked from using her powers because, you know, she has a bunch of memories that she doesn't remember because she was forced to forget. And over time, like, she comes to realize that, one, she's going to need her powers to fight in the pit, and two, after attempting to escape and failing, fighting in the pits for a year to get her son back is the only way that she's going to get her son back. And so she dedicates herself to just being the best gladiator fighter that she can, and she decides to, like, use the help of another Dragon King who also has freaky mind powers to go into her mind and unblock her, like, ability to use her powers. The other Dragon King that goes into her mind basically brainwashes her to, like, want to fight for Dr. Astor, to, like, want glory in the fighting pets. She becomes a completely different person in the middle of the book and is like, yes, I fight for the glory of Dr. Astor. I will go in there. I will slay my enemies. Blah, 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 blah. You know, Leto is concerned, but not... He's concerned. It's actually really sweet, actually. Like, so she doesn't remember her son during, like, this period of time. Like, she doesn't remember her son. She doesn't remember the real reason why she's fighting in the pit. She doesn't remember anything. And so Leto is like, oh my god, she doesn't remember her son. And proceeds to, like, protect her. Sometimes even to the detriment of their relationship. Because he will protect her from things, and she'll be like, how dare you? I want glory, and you're getting in my way. Oh, you must hate me. And he's like, no, listen, there's things that you need to remember. Like, he doesn't tell her, because he's also very terribly afraid that telling her what's really going on is gonna, like, break her mind in half, because at this point she has, like, two groups of people go into her mind and, like, fuck up her mind and, like, scramble her brain like eggs. And so he doesn't want to endanger her sanity, but also he's trying to, like, keep her safe. And oh god, skipping around quite a bit, eventually she does remember. I think she literally gets knocked in the head really hard, and then she remembers about her son and, like, you know, her ex-husband and all of this stuff. During the progression of this, they, like, fall in love and shit. The details of they fall in love. It's not, the details aren't important there. And so, you know, when she remembers, her and, like, another pair of Dragon Kings called Hark and Silence, the four of them escape together, and they save a bunch of, like, the test subject Dragon Kings that were being kept in, like, the labs, and they save her son, and the Dragon King Council also comes by to like help save her. And so then that's it. And so like they basically fight their way out of like the gladiator pit / labs, using their super cool Dragon King powers and the power of love and friendship. And then they escape. And then that's the end of the book. I wish that we had more of like, you know, what happens afterwards, but unfortunately we don't. Oh my god. Okay, y'all, let me like catch up with chat after me like rambling about all of that shit. Oh my god. All right, there we go. Which is very sweet because he went from like protecting himself to protecting someone else, and that's why in a way I like him. You know, he redeems himself in the second half of the book quite a bit. Like in the first half of the book, I was kind of like equally as repulsed by him as Nin. I was like, oh, he's like that. Oh, he's gross. Oh, I don't like that. But then I was like, oh no, okay. No, she like, Nin's right. He is just brainwashed, and actually he turns it around like really quickly, and he becomes like really freaking sweet in the second half of the book. Oh, fixing memory wipes via getting hit in the head is one of the methods of all time. Out of all of the things that happens in the book, I didn't hate it completely. But like, what really saved her at the end of the day was just getting hit in the head really fucking hard. Oh, nothing better than the good old knocking. Okay, so based on that summary, this book is insane. Interesting. It is insane. The book is insane. It's delightful in like the way that, I don't know, like in the way that silly, goofy movies are, you know? Like, I'm not looking to read Shakespeare when I open this up, you know what I mean? Also, I think you forgot about Kieran and Malfoy, the guys that escaped first and gave Nin hope. Yes, I forgot about that. At the very, very, very start, she passed a note to somebody, to Malfoy, I think. She passed a note to somebody, and they ran back. And, like, that gave her hope of, like, being rescued or something. I liked that, like, toward, like, the middle-ish of the book, like she came to the conclusion that she was like, yeah, sure, they might save me, they might not, I have to like do what I can on my own. I thought that was cool. The name is not Malfoy, something along the lines, but I find it funnier to call him the Harry Potter dude. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's close enough. His name is like super duper close to being Malfoy. It's like dangerously close to being Malfoy. I can't freaking remember his name. So Malfoy it is. Malfoy. Yeah. That's what it was. Also, Malfoy is significant. Malfoy for the friends. Yeah. So this book is crazy wacky, and like if you just want to read something that's insane, I highly recommend it. The first like question, listen, I wrote all of this down not thinking that a single other person would have read this book, so I was ready to rant today, y'all. Why is the book romantic? Isn't it about being kidnapped and forced to fight in an underground fighting ring? Let me explain. Also, if any of y'all have thoughts or opinions about this premise, I would genuinely love to hear them. I would absolutely genuinely love to hear them. Romantic because of the kidnapping. Like, I think that, okay? I think wholeheartedly that because of the kidnapping, it adds to the book. Right? I mean, if it was done well, it can work. Still feels like the book would have done better as an action with romance. I wholeheartedly disagree. I think that the places where the book suffers the most are like the action parts, honestly. I don't know if that's because it's a romance book. I came here for the romance. The action parts are just not really what I'm here for. I don't know if that's why they didn't land with me. But the I feel like the writer shines in the moments where it's just Nin and Leto. Personally, I feel like when they're together and like it's the whole romance thing is going on, I feel like the book does really well. Oh, it's a kidnapping. There's kidnapping in this novel, and the story loves it. Listen, I'm telling you. Okay, kidnapping is an amazing hook for a romance novel. I think it's obviously I enjoy it. Like, obviously, at this point, there's like too many books on my shelf that have to do with being kidnapped. Like, a ridiculous amount. Like, I see the pattern. Clearly, I enjoy it. I guess I do. Like, you know, I think it's a fantastic plot hook for romance. It's a bit weird to me on this because imagine you have been in a relationship for years and you have a son. You aren't sure about how your son is, and then you fall in love over the guy that trains you almost to death. A bit Stockholmish. It is incredibly Stockholmish. I think that it's giving trauma bond. Like, not gonna lie, it's giving trauma bond a little bit. Like, they're both in this horrific situation. Even if Leto doesn't realize that the situation is horrific until the second half of the book, it's still horrific. Like, just because he doesn't know it doesn't make it any less like, oh my god, what's happening? You know? It is like, the situation where they fall in love in is incredibly dodgy. It's incredibly sketch. I do agree. I must having disagreed. Opinion changed. No! I was kidnapped once. Wait, for real? For real? Wait, for real or joking? I can't tell. I can't tell. By God, I hope that you weren't actually kidnapped. Jesus Christ, man. I think the action was not that goodly described. If you read Worm, an actual action and mystery, for real! Bro! That's crazy! I am so sorry. Oh my God. Jesus Christ, man. That's wild. Oh, that's wild, man. Jesus Christ. If you're comfortable explaining, I'm being curious. Never mind. I'm being nosy. Please don't mind me. I think the action were not that goodly described. Yeah, no, I agree that the action wasn't really described very well. You see real action literally shines when it's about love and the past story of the characters. Yes. I think that the writer did an amazing job of describing, like, I really got the sense that, like, Nin loved Caleb, the human who died. Rest in peace. Like, I really got the sense that, like, of, like, how much she loved him and how good that relationship was. And, like, I enjoyed the book because I felt emotions throughout the entirety of the book, you know? Like, I felt sad that her husband died. I felt, oh God, like, when she forgot her son, my heart dropped. I was like, oh, she forgot her son? Oh no. Like, you know, like, the emotional ups and downs were really good, and the action wasn't where I was feeling the ups and downs, you know? Like, it absolutely had to do with all of the interpersonal stuff happening. I will never understand your devotion for the kidnapping genre. Okay, I appreciate, like, the trope or, like, mechanism of kidnapping for the start of romance novels because it's sort of like, oh my God, like, it's sort of, I don't know how to properly put this into words, but, like, at least, I can't say for the entirety of the world, right? Because things are, like, so different country to country, and I don't know where Lindsay Piper lives. Okay, in the back of the book it says Chicago. So, like, at least in America, like, society-wise, like, pleasure for just everyone across the board is, like, really frowned upon. It's like, look, enjoying yourself is seen as, like, a vice, not gonna lie. Like, enjoying yourself is seen as, like, such, like, a bad, horrible thing. You're being frivolous, and it's wasteful to enjoy yourself, you know? Like, if you're enjoying yourself, you're quote-unquote wasting your time. you know, like when you could be like slaving away and killing yourself working on something, you know, like that's the general consensus of pleasure. And so like never mind like the added weight of like being a woman and experiencing pleasure, especially like anything that has to do with romance or sex, to be quite frank, like it's looked down on to like experience any level of happiness or like legitimately enjoying yourself. And so the mechanism of kidnapping sort of like takes that away, right? Like it takes away the like, I don't know, the option, you know, it takes away the option. There's no choice, you know, it takes away the choice. It's like, okay, like, oh, well, they had no choice but to be in the company of a really hot person. You know, they had no choice but to fall in love, because what are they gonna do? They're kidnapped. What else could happen? You know? The taking away of the choice sort of like makes it easier to enjoy things, if that makes any sort of fucked up sense. I don't think I can explain it. I probably could explain it better, but it would take me 8,000 years, and we don't got time for that. Does Leto like her son, though? The thing is, Leto meets her son very briefly at the very, very, very end of the book. And it's sort of hinted at that they get along. You know, it's hinted at that they get along with each other. For real, I feel like Leto clings to Nin to save himself when he understands the situation, which in a way is wholesome. Is it Omega dodgy? Yes, but I believe it was a great art for Leto. I agree. Like, what else did he have? You know, once again, it's like, what choice did they have? Like, she's the only person who like understands him like on any level, you know. I was happy he's gotten adrenaline when she heard someone actually got kidnapped. No, I'm just curious. I'm just legitimately curious. I'm literally being nosy. The kind with the metal eyelashes. And I have candy and kites, so of course I got. And she drove me to the park and revealed she also had sandwiches. We ate candy, sandwiches, flew kites, then she took me back. I still have no clue who she was. Oh, that's wild. Oh my god, that's wild. Oh my god, that's wild fuck. I am so glad that you were safe, because that is crazy, man. Oh right, water. The country founded upon extreme puritanical Christianity doesn't like sexual pleasure. Yeah, I know, shocking. That's mysterious. I shall pray you don't get involved in worse things than that in the future. I do not dislike the kidnapping genre, but I do not like it as a hook. For me, it's pretty toxic. Do I respect it? Yes. I don't like it. I'm neutral on that, and that's fair. I feel like that is perfectly fair not to like it, because it's incredibly dodgy, you know? I'm super okay and chill with like super fucking dodgy as fuck romance books, but I also know it's not everybody's cup of tea. I hate you, shiny star of a Zach Fair. Good morning, it's good to see you. Oh no, that's crazy. How could this happen? I got involved with worse before. Damn. I'm big chillin' these days. Oh, that's good. That's good to hear, Trippy. By taking away the agency, you remove the responsibility and therefore the guilt. You get it. Okay, Bellamy, you freaking get it. Oh my, yes, it's exactly that. There can't be any guilt if there is no responsibility. Hey, Bellamy, good morning. It's good to see you. Taffy hearing you about awful crimes on the news. Claps and fetches her popcorn. Oh, why do you think she has an AO3 account? Listen. I know what I'm about, is all that I have to say. Oh my gosh, hello there, Taffers. Hey. On Leto and Nin, you are the only two people together. Trapped, you are in a cage. And surprisingly, the only other person that is with you also understands you. Logically, they will fall in love. Imagine you live with someone trapped for years and you only have each other. Yeah. I feel like there's... personal opinion, I feel like there's only two ways to go. Like, if you're trapped somewhere and you're with one other person, I feel like you either despise each other or like love will happen. I feel like it's one of the two. It's either bound together for life and all eternity, or you just hate each other to a disgusting degree. Like I feel like it's one of the two. I have such a good game for you about this. I'm ready. Oh, that touches both. Oh, I am excited. I'm excited to hear about this. What the fuck did I put in next? Is there anything interesting about Nin? Is she a good protagonist? I actually kind of feel like, I don't know, there were so many points where I thought that Nin was kind of boring, not gonna lie. Like, it felt, or rather, there were places where she felt like the reader was supposed to insert themselves, like, into, like, on, like, superimpose themselves onto her. And so that sort of, like, was like, oh, for me, I was like, oh, this is boring. It's a super fucked up game, The Coffin of Andy and Lele, but don't play it on stream, trust me, it's great, it's absolute horror. Okay, hold on, let me write it down. Who wants more trippy stories? I think if you're comfortable sharing, I would love to hear more. Where was I? Okay, Coffin of Andy and wait. Okay, awesome. It's been written down. I don't know. Nin felt like an anime MC. She kind of did. And at some point it felt a bit boring. It's a shame because there was so much like ammunition for like her interior like mind world palace thing to be more interesting. Like I feel like she could have been significantly more interesting than she was. She had all of the parts. Like she had a backstory that could have like done more for her. She had current circumstances that could have done more for her. Like she just, I don't know, like she gets into the fighting pits and she already kind of knows how to fight, which kind of sucks. Like she kind of already knows how to fight. I don't know, like she's perfect in every way, even though she just spent a year being tortured and having an ovary removed. Like it's just, yeah, I don't know. She was kind of cookie cutter. Her as a character, I feel like there could have been more fight with herself or more trauma or more things you could have used. It felt like a wasted opportunity. It really did. Like, God, there's so much. Like, she could have been so different. At the end of the day, I wish that she had more personality. There were parts in the book where it felt like she was like generic mama bear. And I'm not complaining that she cared about her son. Like, I want her to care about her son. But it felt like there was no fire, if that makes any sense. Like, it felt like she was just generic placeholder, you know. I don't know. Like, I feel like the book was meant for somebody. It was meant to be read by a woman who had kids. Because I feel like I was meant to, like, superimpose myself, but I don't have kids and Nin and I are very different, so it just felt weird. I don't know. I mean, a character ending up like that and immediately destroying the enemy can be pretty good if done in the right comedic fashion. I think that's true. Like, I think it could be done really, really well. I think it could be done well. I don't think it was necessarily done well here. For example, A Practical Guide to Evil, you have the inner struggle of a girl that wanted to be a hero, gets tangled with the whole villain of the story, and you have the struggle of who she is, who she wants to be, to who she expected to be, which is absolutely great. But Nin felt pretty Mary Sue to me. Yeah, she really... She really did feel like a Mary Sue. Like, the fact that she was tortured in the labs, and like when Leto first sees her, he's like, she's gorgeous, she's beautiful. Like, yeah, she's covered in filth, but also she's so pretty. And I'm like, she was tortured in and used as like a science experiment in the labs for a year. She is not pretty right now. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you're. She's not pretty. Like, in that moment, I think it would have been cooler, and I don't know, it would have been cooler and more appealing if like she like got healthier and like got into like a better place, and like, oh, she's glowing, like she's doing so well in the fights or whatever, she's like put on weight, like everything's so good, and then he's like, oh, she's doing better now, she's really pretty actually. That's not what happened. Like, she came out of the gate gorgeous, and I'm like, that's a lie. That's not happening. Well, Miss Taffy, you have to go get kids before you review the next book. I'm good. I am so good. I don't need to do all that. I couldn't feel identified with Nin. I felt more identified with Leto. Not always, but felt more relatable to me. One Punch Man is an amazing example of this. Yes. Oh, true? I don't know why I'm saying yes. I've only seen one episode of One Punch Man. True, I was thinking more along the lines of the trope of the tiny innocent woman being capable of ripping a man's head off. She could also use the removal of an ovary as a sort of reference to that kind of abuse to explore. Yeah. Like, the fact that she's missing an ovary, there's so much to explore there, and it never is. And it's a letdown that it's never, like, touched upon at all whatsoever. Like, she just sort of mentions that, like, oh yeah, like, I lost an ovary, and like sometimes she'll like look down at where the scar is of like where it was removed, and she'll be like, damn, it's really gone. But like, that would be a bigger thing, you know? Or I think it should be a bigger thing. Oh my god. No, he thinks she's gorgeous. She's gorgeous to him. You know what they say? Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. She literally just got done being tortured. She does not look good in that moment. I just don't believe it. I know that beauty is in the eye of the beholder, but I feel like that's crazy. Like, I don't know. Oh, beauty is relative. Maybe Leto liked the felt. He honestly, maybe. I don't know. Oh, it reminds me of the song Psycho. Oh, her body was literally invaded and violated against her will. Yes. For an extended period of time. In the name of, like, making other people fertile. Like, in the name of supposedly, because once again, I think the doctor was just a freak. I think he just wanted ovaries, you know? He was a hack. In the name of making other women fertile, like, she was viciously experimented on. And it's never a thing. Or rather, it's not much of a thing. It's not something that is really explored at length. Oh my god. I don't know. I just really like talking about serious societal topics in stories. Yeah, no, that's a good thing. That's what book club is for. This is what book club is for. Oh, don't be a beholder. You might get stung. Hey! I'm back. Welcome back. Maybe Leto is like you and he goes by vibe. You see, I would believe it. Like, if it was by vibe, I'd believe it. But he says some things about her body that make me think that he is not a fellow vibes enjoyer. You know what I mean? He has opinions, strong opinions about her body that he says, and he says them, and he acts on it, and things occur, and I don't think it's the vibes that he's enjoying. Damn, yet another career path foiled for me. If he was a freak, then it's kind of worse with that sort of illusion. That's just a personal opinion. Like, we don't have proof. The only proof that we have in the book that Dr. Astor is like a freak, like a freaky freak, is that like he has like a latex covered pet, and that's it. Like, besides that, we don't really have, I don't have proof that he's just taking ovaries for fun. You know what I mean? Like, that's a personal headcanon and theory that he's just doing it for the love of the game. Like, in my opinion, I feel like Nin could have been a great protagonist, but is a vast waste of potential, and to me it shows that she mostly doesn't show any type of side effects because of this. I got into trouble, and I still have issues years later. Nin has a mind made of iron. She is so much stronger than me in so many levels. It feels like realistically, if Nin, you know, is this level of strong or whatever, I would only believe it if after the events of this book, she has a really hard time. Like, if she's able to keep it together while the shit is still happening, fine. There have to be effects at some point. There have to be effects farther down the line after the events of the book, you know, or something. There's gotta be something, because she almost acts as if nothing ever affects her, which is really weird. The doctor is the pocket freak. Oh, the only freaky thing with the doctor is the latex covered freak pet. Nothing too crazy. Listen, it's a romance book. I'm expecting some stuff, you know? I'm expecting some stuff that maybe in another book people would have edited out. Or like wouldn't have the guts to write it in. That's why I'm obsessed with the romance genre. It's filled with things that in other genres people would not have the guts to just add it in, you know? You get tortured for a year. You don't show almost any level of mental strain. I understand that mentally you hold it together while under war, but then your mind crumbles when you are at rest. I would expect some PTSD after this. Either that or she literally has a mind of iron. Yeah, I would expect some level of PTSD after this as well. Like, no shot, she's just fine. Miss Taffy reads your average vanilla straight romance to look for latex covered gifts. Listen, I'm reading the romance genre for the interesting wild shit. I mean, a latex kink is far from the strangest. Yeah, I feel like that's pretty, like, normal. Honestly, I feel like that's really, really normal. I'm not. I feel like I don't know. I feel like that's pretty normal. I think I've read a lot of deeply questionable material. I think my brain is broken, but I feel like that's normal. Now I remember, kidnappings are romance of prehistoric era. The males bonk females and kidnap them. I get it now. It's your primal instinct. It's kind of hilarious that you mentioned that, because throughout the book really like leans pretty heavily on primal instinct, which leads me to Letter's kind of gross. What's so attractive about him anyway? And this is where the second part of my dissertation about this book. In the beginning, he is kind of gross. Like at the very, very start, let me see if I can like find. I should have been bookmarking places in the book while I was reading. I didn't think to do that. I didn't take any notes inside of the book or put post-it notes. So finding actual like things is like a pain in the ass. Oh god. Sorry, I'm like looking for an example. But essentially, like, he's ogling her from the jump. is why I think that he was gross. Like, she literally was thrown down into the evil cage fighting dungeons, and he was like already ogling her body from like the jump, and I was like, ew. Like, she's literally covered in dirt and traumatized, and he's ogling her, and I'm like, is he for real right now? Like, this is gross. Like, what the fuck is this deal? And then in the later half, when he actually gives a fuck about her, he becomes sweet. It's not latex kink, it's latex slave kink, latex unwilling slave kink. At that, it's incredibly specific and unfortunate. Leto is an absolute fucked up person until the second part. Can I blame him for being rough when, if he isn't, he and her both get punished if he is soft? Yeah. Like, he doesn't really have a lot of room to be kind or soft in his mind, or so he thinks. Like, for Leto, like, losing the gladiator matches is like life or death to him, you know, because like he's like worried about his family being able to conceive children. Dr. Astor is also promising him, like, he has a sister. His sister's name is Pell, and Pell is like in a coma. She has like health problems, and she's in a coma, and she and so Dr. Astor's like, if you keep winning the matches, I'll help you with your sister Pell, who's in a coma. And he's like, oh my god, I have to help my sister. What am I gonna do? Like, I have to win the matches. You know, it's very much life or death for him. And so he's kind of a dick, like, in the first half of the book, because he thinks that like training this person is like gonna get in his way, you know. Oh, I've never liked the primal stuff. As a student of history, I know it's not true, and generally it just reads as the hyper-masculine wet dream stories you'd read about years ago. Yeah, no, it's not true. Like, it's not based in fact. You know, it's absolutely like just a fantasy of some kind that has taken over and is misconstrued as fact, but it's not. I think this is the most normal thing, unfortunately. Physical attraction, as seen in Love Island, is incredibly common. Unfortunately, yeah. The thing that draws them together from the jump is physical attraction to one another. Oh well, as soon as your kinks are unwilling slave, I gotta say stop. Yeah. I hate slavery, thumbs up and two shines. So controversial, yet so brave. I now need someone to produce a fantasy romance novel where there's some guy that comes off as a freak at the start, but by the end you realize, oh no, this is actually just a dude who's confident in his kinky but harmless interests. Found someone who's happy to play along 24/7, but he's actually one of the sweetest, most helpful guys otherwise. I'm flipping through the Rolodex of book titles in my brain to see if I can think of one that's like that. I can't. That's unfortunate. Oh man, yeah, no, bruh, I can't think of a single book that's like that. It's usually significantly more dubious than that. The hypermasculine primal stuff no longer works since the start of Alpha Male podcasts. Isn't the hypermasculine primal stuff the exact same as alpha male shit? I feel like it's the exact same thing, but repackaged to be different. Like, hypermasculine primal urges, but this time, I don't know, you wake up at 3 a.m. to do push-ups. I'm pretty sure it's the same shit. It's not repackaged. I don't believe it. I don't believe it at all. Freaking, it's crazy. Okay, it's crazy. That shit is fucking crazy. Oh, right. No, why does he become attractive? Because he becomes a sweetheart in the second half of the book, as previously stated. He really looks out for Nin when she can't remember basic things about herself or her past. It's just a bunch of 40-year-olds using it as to justify being a creep to young women. Okay, so the thing is that that's what I think about the hypermasculine primal stuff. I think that the hypermasculine primal stuff is an excuse for 40-year-olds to be creepy to young women. This is why I think that it's repackaged, because both of these things are excuses to be creepy to women. Oh god, the Dragon Kings are kind of dorky. Here's my dissertation, but why that's a good thing. And also, if anybody else also has opinions about if the Dragon Kings being dorky is a good thing or not, I think it's a good thing because, I don't know, like, it's just silly. It's like silly goofy. I think it's a good thing that the Dragon Kings, or depends on how dorky we're talking. Let me see if I can find hold on, I'm fixing, there we go. Let me see if I can find like a quote to illustrate the dorkiness. No, not that. No, certainly not that. Oh, why didn't I take notes? Why didn't I take notes? I could have taken notes. Okay. Oh. Like, okay, this isn't a quote necessarily, but like when they curse, instead of saying God damn it, they say dragon damn it. Like just shit like that. Where it's like, oh, the dragon, oh, dragon bee, you know, it's like that level of dorky. Continuing the romance fantasy novel idea, dude starts meeting the protagonist of the club with a pet like the doctor in the novel, invites the protagonist to a drink, comes off as just a bit odd. Fast forward, he's a recurring character, and by the end, he's not only helping the protagonist stop a major problem in the world, we learn the pet is his spouse, who's equally into it, and also helps in equal measure stopping the antagonist. That would be sick! That would be sick as hell! That would be amazing! Honestly. That would be a fucking cool-ass book. I feel like Dragon King plot is kind of weird. Super powerful race or whatever, and they just literally exist. They exist, and they just sort of fight amongst each other, and they never get anything done, and they hold no real amount of power in the world. And also, they look down on other Dragon Kings who spend any amount of time amongst human society, which kind of shoots themselves in the foot. It's like, if you want to continue as a species blending in with humans, participating in human society feels kind of important. Oh, my wife calls me a dork. Aw. They did not put proper research into dragon worship. They did not. Could you imagine all of the tiny details in this book that would go off if they had, though? If they had, like, deeply researched ancient dragon worship? That would have been sick. My wife calls me fat. It feels like VDM, but if they were absolutely stupid, it really does. It really does feel like the same idea as, like, supernatural creatures, mostly vampires, living in secret, but they're doing it in, like, the dumbest way humanly possible, where they just sort of live, like, in seclusion, up in mountains in the middle of nowhere, and like they're seething constantly and hating on humans. My wife calls me gay. I'm having an affair with her father. My wife tells me to take my pills, but then she always disappears. My wife calls me. I lied. I am unmarried, nor do I want to be married. Ancient, Miss Taffy, there is contemporary dragon worship. I believe it even more reason. You know, the author could have went and had literal conversations with people who worship dragons. Every story is better if you decide to hyper-focus on its world building and add little details. This is true. This is incredibly true, and it would have been good. Honestly, I feel like now that you mention it, I feel like the Dragon Kings are dorky because of the world building aspect. Because the world building doesn't go hard enough. The world building isn't specific enough. It doesn't have the details. It feels like, I don't know, really shoddy set dressing. And then that's why it feels dorky, because I don't know, there's not enough world building in there. I feel like if the Dragon Kings had more details and like we heard more about their society and more about the rituals that they have and like how intense and specific existing as a Dragon King is compared to being a human, it would come off as less dorky. Dragon Kings for me make not much sense. It feels like they're kind of in the air. Yeah, it doesn't really make too much sense to me either. The evil doctor in this book is a hack. Let me tell you more. We kind of already discussed this quite a bit, but he's a hack. He's stealing people's ovaries. He's just hacking into people. Sometimes he's successful and he helps people have kids, and 50% of the time it's a crapshoot. I don't know what he does. I don't think he knows what he does. He's just bad at his job, to be honest. They feel like they have a great dish, but it needs sauce. And you don't have the sauce, so you need to add mayo. It helps, but it's just there. Yeah, it doesn't. It needs the sauce. That's accurate. I feel like it needs the sauce. Actually, for things like this, especially religions in fantasy where there's called X-worship of Xism, authors need a lot of focus because it immediately breaks the mold of fantasy and makes it more interesting. Yeah. Oh. Ta-da! Each and every time I forget that I get thrown around viciously when it's magical girl time. Like it needs details. Like I need to know more. I've never heard of Dragon Kings before until this book. I need so much detail. I needed about 100 pages more worth of detail about the Dragon Kings. Especially as a Western author using a subject normally bad-mouthed in modern society. I wish I had sauce. The ending was kind of forced. I will expound upon this. And also, naturally, I think one of the things that I like the most about this book is that they help each other to find themselves. They kind of de-brainwash each other. They do. I think that, once again, I feel like that's where the writer shined. Where, like, the two of them helping each other not be brainwashed anymore. And, like, taking turns to help one another. Oh, we already kind of discussed this, that Nin is indeed a Mary Sue. Miscellaneous slide for extra thoughts. If anybody has extra thoughts, do I have extra thoughts? Do I? I don't know, it was fun. It was a fun book. I never have any thoughts in my defense. Nothing to add. I think I said my piece. Ooh. That's the second time I dropped my knitting. God damn it. I liked it. It has holes and feels that needs explanations, but I enjoyed it. You know, I think it was a fun little silly book. Oh, right. The same, like, 2 questions I ask at the end of every single book club. The tone of the book, the style, the pacing. Would you recommend this book? I would recommend this book for anybody that just wants to have a good time. Do we collectively have a rating for this book? I think I would rate it like a 3 out of 5, maybe. A 3 out of 5 because it was fun. A 2 out of 5 if I think about, like, the quality of the story. I think. I'm kind of torn. Okay. And that's all, y'all. That's all of the questions for this book club. For this book club day. Y'all...